So I made a video a few weeks ago walking you through my whole Ableton process, how I run tracks at my church, and that video was long. It was like over 32 minutes long, and I know some of you are probably like me and you see a video that long, and even though it looks really good, you're thinking, I'll probably watch that later, or maybe I'll never watch that, because who has 32 minutes to sit down and talk about Ableton? So today we're gonna be talking about some quick Ableton tips, and some of these things I didn't even mention in that other video. So if you did see that other video, you'll still get value out of this video. If you haven't seen the other video, I'll link it up here, down below. Let's get into it. Now, if we've never met, my name is Jimmy Cooper, and I created Hey Worship Leader to be a resource for you, to help you be the best worship leader you can be. We talk about pastoring your people, we talk about gear, and we talk about leading your teams well. And I've discussed in depth on this channel how Ableton has helped me lead my teams well by resourcing them well in a way where they know exactly what to expect as they prepare for each and every weekend. So that's why I like making videos like this. So if you feel like today's video is helpful, let me know, comment down below, and let's jump in. The first thing, the first tip, use loop cues for times of spontaneity. You know, one of the biggest pushbacks on using tracks for worship is, I'm too confined, it boxes me in too much, I can't let the Spirit lead. And there's a lot we could say about that topic, and that's not the topic of today's video. But for those of you who feel like tracks are just too limiting, I would say, false. I believe in planning well, and if you've planned well and you know your set list and you've prayed through it and let the Spirit lead you through planning, then you know the times of the service where you want that extra space. For me, it's usually at the end of the song that I want some space to be able to say something or repeat a chorus or a bridge again. For you, it might be right after the verse cue. I don't know when it is, but whatever it is, you can plan for it. And you might be saying, Jimmy, planning, spontaneity, those things don't go together. I don't mean plan spontaneity. I just mean prepare in advance so that you have the flexibility to be spontaneous whenever you want. And you can do that with Ableton. Let me show you. All right, I'm just gonna share my computer screen with you so you can see what's going on here. This is similar, this is this week's set list. This is similar to what I showed you a couple weeks ago. And I start my service out, you can see here, it says begin, and we have a pad going, and then we have this little loop cue right here. And what a loop cue is just a simple MIDI note that is assigned to a specific parameter within Ableton. And in this case, it sends it to this little back arrow here, and we can see that by going up here and clicking the MIDI. This MIDI button shows you anything that comes up purple or blue, however it looks on your screen, can be assigned to a MIDI command. And we can see here that this loop cue is assigned to that little arrow. So when the playhead passes this little arrow, it will send it back to the previous locator. So now on to tip 2, you might be thinking, okay, locator, what are you talking about, Jimmy? Well, if you didn't see the other video, I showed you how to set up locators, but they are these little arrows on the screen that kind of are like little flags. I say arrows, they look like flags. And you can set a locator anywhere. I usually do it at the beginning of a section or the beginning of a song. And as you can see here, I label them, I name them, and I number them so you can see what that locator is referencing. If you go up here to the key, which is right next to MIDI, you can also assign things to different keys on your keyboard. I assigned keys to these locators. So I wrote 2, Bound for Glory, so that our drummer who runs Ableton in my situation hits number 2 and Bound for Glory will begin. And so back to the whole spontaneity discussion, you can set these locators for anywhere you want. You could do it for every part of the song. I know some people that's their method. Mine's kind of clean. I don't like it to be too busy, but I do have these markers up here at the top where we can see intro, verse, chorus. You could set a locator for each one of those and be able to repeat any section at any time. But I just taught you about loop cues, and you wouldn't want to put a loop cue everywhere, or it would always be looping and you would never finish the song, which leads us to our third tip, and this is something I love that I've been doing, and that is setting a key assignment, which I just taught you. You hit this yellow key button right there and assigning a key assignment for the back and next arrows here. If I toggle it off, you can see this is arrow forward and arrow backward. These go to the next and previous locators. And what's cool and convenient is, as you can see here, I assign them to a lowercase b and n. B meaning back, n meaning next. They're 2 keys that are right next to each other. How convenient is that? It's easy to remember. So like in our case, if I tell the drummer, hey, I want to start that song over, he just hits B. No matter where we are in the song, it'll go back to the previous locator, back, and it'll start over. So let me show you. So we'll be in Bound for Glory. I say, hey, we want to start over. He hits B, and it toggles number 2 up, and we start the song over again.
3, 4.
Pretty cool. And I like being redundant because I showed you in the other video how I assign numbers to those locators, to those flags, so you can pull up any song at any time. But I also like the back and next, so they can also just toggle through the service as we move through there. I've learned to be redundant with software. It's just best. And plus different drummers, I have different drummers, they like doing it different ways. Not like giving multiple options to do the same thing. So it's easy for them. All right, tip number 4, the next thing I want to show you is something that I've just recently thought of. And it's super simple because I've just taught you, you can easily assign any of these parameters within Ableton to a key. But one of the things that me as a worship leader, I've just been dealing with for a long time, too long, is that I will loop these sections while I'm speaking or praying or doing a call to worship, and the click is always going. And I thought one day, I wish the click wasn't on. Oh yeah, I can assign a key to toggle on and off the click. And so for us, what I did, there's this little button right here that toggles on and off the metronome within Ableton, and that's what we use. I assign that to the period key. I just thought maybe that would be easy to remember. You can assign it to any key you want, but the drummers know that if I'm gonna be talking or praying and we are in that looping section, I don't want Ableton to stop because we have a nice pad going, but I don't always want that clicking in my ear because it's really hard to focus on what you're trying to say with a constant clicking in your ear. And so I just have them hit the period key, and then the pad still goes, the playhead is still moving through the set, but I don't have to hear the click. And then they can tell when I'm landing the plane and they hit the period and it comes back on, and it's a beautiful thing. So we're looping, I'm trying to talk, I'm trying to say something, but I got this dinging in my head, I can't hear it. They hit the period, the pad is still going, it's beautiful, playhead's still moving. Like I said, I can think about it and I'll say something like, so let's sing. Hit the period, hit the next cue.
1, 2, 1,
ready to go.
3, 4.
Tip number 5 that you may have just heard is use a pad to help out during transitions. Now I did talk about this in the other video, but in case you didn't see it, pads are huge. Pads have been out a while, but what it is just a sound that it's a sound bed underneath everything that's going on in the key that you want to be in. So as you can see here, I have a shimmer pad right here. It's actually an HWL, Hey Worship Leader pad. I'll get to that in a second. It's a pad in the key of A because I'm singing Bound for Glory in the key of A, and so it kind of sets the tone, it shows where we're going, and it leads right into the song really well. And you can fade it out at any time, just like I have here, but we have a pad going. Turn that click off with my period cue. Oh, we have the loop cue, so it's still going, but I'm gonna hit next, and you can see how it just flows straight into the other song.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The pad faded out, the tracks from the song faded in, and it was beautiful. But pads also really help when you're going from one key to the next. Some of the times the most awkward transitions can be when you're trying to go from one key to the next, especially when playing live. And when using pads, you can plan out and keep that from being a very awkward moment. So I pulled up a couple weeks ago, we were playing, what song is this? Glorious Day in the key of C, and we were going into Holy is Our God in the key of A. I don't know if you can hear this with my mic. Oh yeah, I got a new mic situation here. I'm hoping it sounds good. It keeps me from having a bunch of wires, it's wireless. Anyways, all that to say, I don't know if you can hear this well, but we're gonna be in the key of C, and then I planned how I wanted the key of A to flow out of the key of C. So we end the song.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And that pad of A just came right out of the key of C, sounded beautifully. Then the piano player can play on top of it, acoustic player can strum over top of it, and it's just wonderful. Now, like I said, I actually have my own pads for sale right now over on the website. They're for sale and they're on sale right now. There's it's called the Worship Pads Bundle. There's 3 pads in there. You get a warm pad, a shimmer pad, and a guitar pad that I made through my HX Stomp. I love them all. I use them all every single week, so I wouldn't tell you that they're good if I didn't use them myself. They're really good. Go check them out. I'll link that down below. All right, last tip. I don't remember what number we're on, but anyway, something I wish I had known when I was first getting started with Ableton, and that is how to get away from the snap to grid mode when you need to. I mean, you don't want things getting off the grid in Ableton. Everything needs to line up on the beat, but sometimes when you import things, they don't import the way you want them to. For example, when you're importing an MP3 into your song track, you want the MP3 to line up exactly with the tracks, and they don't always have the same starting point, and so you have to move them around a little bit, and depending on how the grids line up, you might not be able to get it exactly where you want it. So the little tip is, you may know this, but I didn't know, and so I'm gonna share it with you, is Command 4, at least on a Mac. I don't have a PC, so whatever Command 4 would be on a PC. Command 4 will allow you to override the snap to grid so that you can scoot things over very precisely and then put it back so you don't mess anything else up. So in this case, I had Holy as our god and I wanted it lined up right with the tracks. I finally got it, but you can see here that it started like not really on in a good spot. And so I had to scoot it. So if you hit Command 4, all the little lines go, they're kind of dotted now, and you can scoot this around just as much as you want, as precise as you want. I'm going to X out of this and not save so I don't mess it up. Anyways, Command 4 allows you to override the grid, scoot things around, push Command 4 again so that everything is locked into place and you'll be ready to go. You can do a lot of other things with Ableton, but I hope these tips helped you. If they did, would you let me know by commenting down below? I would love to hear from you. And if you want to support the channel, check out the Worship Pads bundle down below. There are some other products over on the website as well that you can check out while you're over there. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.